Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Briefing for Friday, November 8th, 2024. Precipitation for the past 8 days is shown here on the left. We've had a series of a few little storms come through, bringing precipitation to Idaho, Wyoming, and much of the higher elevations of Utah. If we look at the past 30 days percent of average, we still have some dry areas out there. Much of central and eastern Idaho is still fairly dry, some parts of western Wyoming as well. Nevada, dry as always, but we do have this portions of Utah that have seen above normal precipitation in the past 30 days, mainly the higher elevations of central Utah and southeast Utah as well. Snowfall the past 24 hours or 72 hours is shown here. We did see continued snow in mainly Utah on in that Monday to Tuesday timeframe. Current snow info shown here. Our snow depth is really just starting to build as we head into winter. These lighter shades of blue here showing maybe 4 to 8 inches of snow out there in the mountains of Idaho, western Wyoming, and Utah. Our snowpack is right on track. Some areas showing above normal for the time of year, but that's not really saying too much. We do need to get started in our main snow season as we head into November and December. This morning's satellite imagery shows the area of low pressure still influencing the far eastern Utah to some extent, otherwise drying and warming, moving into much of the Great Basin as high pressure moves in for the weekend. So for today, again, ventilation rates are going to be pretty low across the northern two-thirds of the area as the high pressure builds in. Still some elevated values further south as that low pressure system continues to impact parts of the southern and southeast Great Basin. Transport winds, again, are very light across the north and west, a little bit higher over southern Nevada and into portions of Utah, mainly out of the north for continued cool temperatures. Mixing heights are low across the north as well, a little bit higher further south. On Saturday, the high pressure ridge builds over the Great Basin for a little bit further east for continued sunny skies and warming temperatures. Light winds area-wide, ventilation rates decreasing on Saturday. Again, transport winds are generally fairly light across the area. We do have some gustier downslope winds here on the backside of the Wasatch Range. And mixing heights are pretty poor area-wide on Saturday. On Sunday, there's a trough over the Pacific Northwest that's starting to send some moisture out ahead of it. On Sunday, we'll see a chance of some showers moving to far western Idaho. Otherwise, dry further south and continued generally warm temperatures. Ventilation rates are not that great, but they start to improve a little bit over northern Nevada and into southwest Idaho ahead of that next trough. Transport winds still stay somewhat light across much of the area, picking up really mainly over far eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, and mixing heights pick up a little bit over Nevada. The clearing index for the next couple of days for Utah shows some pretty poor values across the north. Again, today some elevated values across southern Utah, but those will be decreasing on Saturday as the ridge builds in, and then remaining fairly low across the area on Sunday, with some of the higher elevations improving. 3-day precip totals just show some of that precipitation moving into far western Idaho on Sunday, otherwise dry. And then on Monday, the trough moves into the Pacific Northwest, continues to move a little bit further into Idaho. We'll see precipitation across Idaho and northern Nevada on Monday. Ventilation rates really picking up as this storm system moves through. On Tuesday, again, a little bit of chance of some precipitation to the north, but generally staying dry across the south. The storm was looking more impressive earlier in the week, but doesn't look like it's going to bring much precipitation further south into Utah. Ventilation rates do improve across much of the area, however. And then by Wednesday, kind of a quieter day with a little weak ridge building in, ventilation rates decreasing across the area. And on Thursday, continued ridging for most of the area with decreasing ventilation rates, especially over Utah and into the Snake River Plain. Another trough kind of developing here off the over the Pacific Northwest. We'll see what that does for us heading into next weekend. Precipitation for days 4 and 5 showing the moisture with that low coming in. It's really just favoring the mountains of western Idaho, some precipitation there in western Wyoming, and really light amounts over northern Nevada and northern Utah. So this trough isn't digging too far south into the Great Basin. The extended forecast for November 15th through the 21st puts cool temperatures in place across much of the western U.S. and above normal chances for precipitation over most of the country here, with a good amount or a good chance over Utah. And that concludes today's smoke dispersion briefing. Please check back on Monday for the latest updates.